The show ain't over. Might have been a quick 3-0 coming through from the Dallas field. If you missed that, you'll have to go back and check it out because it was a really good show from Dallas. And I'll be heading into Dreamers versus Seoul Dynasty, hoping for a good show from Seoul Dynasty this time around because their last game versus a contenders team, which was also the last game they played on stage as well at WDG versus O2 Blast, they ended up losing. That was not comfortable for Dynasty at all. For Dreamers so far this year, it's been a pretty 50-50 kind of look. 2 wins, 2 losses leg day. Maybe looking for number 3 today.
Yeah, not only 2 wins, 2 losses, but also basically a bunch of new players as well. Donghoon's missing from his roster. Dada's come in. Sad and Top Dragon have joined the roster. Of course, Top Dragon, someone we love to yap about here on the APAC broadcast. This guy's got a pretty crazy Genji, but also a good hero pool when it comes to the flankers as well. And obviously, all of Dreamers is centered around this central tank, the eponymous guy, Dreamer himself, formerly of the LA Valiant, formerly of Contenders Australia, your own stomping ground. So you've got some claim to the Dreamer legacy.
I know a few players actually, you know, I claim Opener, Spectre as well. A few people know that they also played in Contenders Australia at one point. Spectre actually played Open Division Australia. People don't know about that. Yeah, they don't know about all these Australian players.
They don't know about my Australian players.
These Australian Korean players. What they do know about is that Seoul Dynasty has also had a bit of an interesting season. I mean, they've had some really good ones. They're also 2-2. Now, we've seen some 2 versions of the Seoul Dynasty. You know, there was the version that took down the Hangzhou Spark in the 3-2, and oh boy, was that looking good. And you're thinking at that stage, like, man, Seoul Dynasty have some real good heights they can reach here. Can they go even further than this? Can they take down maybe the Seoul Infernal? And the very next day, they ended up losing to O2 Blast, and that was a really unfortunate loss for them. The other Prof ended up getting his revenge. Speaking of that,
so
I got to mention, Easy Han's playing against his old team now as well. So, you know, either he beats his old team or his old team beats him.
I mean, he's got the inside track, he's got the information out of. He's in the mainframe, he knows how Dreamers think, he knows how they play, he knows how they sleep, he knows how they live. But will that be enough to be able to crack the mainframe on the Sombra? This is what Seoul Dynasty desperately needed. A little bit about magic, a little bit about panache on the Sombra. It's what was missing before. Is that a cat on the phone screensaver? Show me the cat! Zoom and enhance, please. Wait, are you also watching Overwatch League on YouTube? Oh, the revelations of the phone are unlimited.
Gotta get this token somehow. And by the way, you're talking about Dreamer being the tank on this team. Let's not forget about Liga as well, who is a fantastic off-tank who played a reasonable amount of maps. And especially if we get any extremely favored off-tank sort of maps in here, is gonna have a good Sigma to show as well as a Diva. Speaking of good Sean, Missin and Krillin. Missin, who had a really good run in the Spring Stage Knockouts, one of the remaining members on this Dreamer squad. And Krillin, who has most recently gotten back on the flex support after playing mainly the main support this entire year, giving that role away to Lee Sumin.
Yeah, it was exiled to the Lucio lands for a while, and of course having to fill on the Brigitte as well. I actually think Krillin was probably the stronger of the 2 of them on the flex support if I had to choose. I think that Krillin's been a little bit underrated on the flex support and is finally getting to spread his wings and fly with someone like Vindime coming in to be a little bit more of a reliable player on the main support. This is definitely what he's been training to do. Vindime, obviously also a legacy player for the Seoul Dynasty, was part of a good run last year as well. Yeah. So a lot of faith from Coach Toby in this player.
That's a good fit for the team, and it certainly, again, Vindime's first game back for Dynasty this year was versus the Hangzhou Spark, and they won that one, and it was extremely good showing. Vindime, I think, at the head of that showing is someone that, you know, we talk about tangible main sports. He's up there for sure. Another one of those former O2 Blast players, former O2 Blast supports, as well as, you know, we have Bliss. We talked about Vindime. People know how good Chio is. Also another third former O2 Blast main support players. They know how to make him over there on that team. It's they're not playing right now. Dreamers Dynasty. First map, Antarctic Peninsula.
Oh, this is a map that's got some variety. Oh, hello. Rams on both sides here. Or rather, Dreamers don't really play the Ram.
Yeah,
Dreamer is a Reinhardt through and through. Yeah, this is an echo of the LA Valiant previously, where Dreamer and Gig under Packing 10 were one of the quintessential Rhine teams who'll have to play hyper aggressively here There's going to be double beams alongside him as well with the Mayfreeze and the Symmetra. So that's going to be a lot of pressure
Packington
on
Ryan.
Belarus.
Classic
Oh,
Packington Ryan, of course. Easy hunt on the Sojin. So, yeah, Streamers maybe considering... I don't know how he just snipes down Belarus. I don't know if they were considering it was going to be Belarus and the Ryan as well, because Sad was ready for it with the Sim to farm some shields. The Dreamer just somehow snipes down Belarus, who I believe might have already taken some big shots from perhaps Top Dragon, who's certainly leading the ult charge in terms of damage alongside Sad.
I'm looking at the stats and I physically don't know how they killed Belarus. Like, he must have just not popped Nemesis form at all and just not used his shield or anything. Either way, Seoul Dynasty, quick reset, big TP straight away. Turning away that rotation in record time. Look at that, they keep the TP up as well to make sure that any rotations are always accounted for by Dreamer's shield.
They have to wait for they being Prophet and Seoul Dynasty, wait for the Mei Ice Wall to be available again. Dreamer is just right in their face straight away, but this time around, could be Dreamer stuck. He was caught in front of an Ice Wall, and he's going to go down for it.
Top Dragon trying his best to survive, but now with very few cooldowns to make it work, should be run down in short fashion. Easy Han manages to get exactly what they're looking for, and Alpha Symmetra, big bad boss, doesn't have much HP to play with. Still TP, a little bit cheeky towards the back. This one's going to definitely be Seoul Dynasty taking control.
That was really unfortunate coming through for the Dreamers side, because, you know, they were in position to snowball that one forward. They had more ults coming online a lot quicker. Photon Barrier would have been huge that fight. And we saw how aggressive Dreamers has been so far on this map, and unfortunately this time around the aggression does cost him. He ends up being caught in front of a wall. And Prophet will be able to stop him from retreating.
Just ready to go. Window comes down first. Belarus taking down Easton. That's a huge amount of missing heals now, but there might well be something to work with the amplification matrix. Annihilation says, I'm taking out whoever dares to stand in my way. Yes, you might get frozen, but there should be plenty of healing here. You know that Criminal is going to let this one slip through the cracks, so Top Dragon turns aside and tries to tear asunder a Baptiste. And one of the things that I'm really thinking about here, Avril, is that Seoul Dynasty seem to have taken Void out of their tank rotation. We have the same thing against O2 Blast, where they play Remarkable the whole way.
The problem is, on Antarctic Peninsula, you will still be playing Winston at some stages moving forward. You know, we look at Labs, look at Sub-Level. I think those are both reasonable Winston maps. It really is only this Icebreaker one that is more favorable towards the Ram, and that was a missed shot. I don't know how that missed, because Belarus was in his face.
And Belarus put down the shield right under him, right at the origin point of the shadow. Crazy reaction from Belarus. Honestly, big reads from Brahmasha. That's a super tough block.
That happened quick, because I don't think Dreamer saw that one coming at all.
Yeah.
Belarus, like you said, Belarus had to really react fast with that, because it was looking like Dreamer had the shadow. Also, at the same time, if you're looking at Dreamer moving that far forward, that aggressively, knowing that we're deep enough into the map that the shadow should be available, Belarus also in position to instantly go for that reaction. So, well read.
Prophet, Blizzard in hand. He wants Dreamer, and he wants nothing more than that. It's not the greatest extrication here. Dreamer is, however, going to get that cleansed away from him. These turrets might actually be a little bit of a problem over the course of the entire fight, and Dreamer manages to find his man in Prophet. Paying dividends here is for Symmetra, and Sad feeling happy.
The problem there is, I mean, like you said, the extra damage from the turrets. Vindime used the sound barrier. Belarus gets burned down anyway, and Sad leaves damage currently. It's about holding left click onto Belarus, dropping in turrets that can be difficult to get rid of at various points. Certainly
takes they fly from behind you as well, so the block can't really account for them as well.
And now as Dreamers start to snowball this one forward, they have got ultimates for it. No real defense from Dynasty.
Top Dragon put down the Blizzard. Didn't really catch anybody here. Krillin, the window is interesting. I'm not entirely sure where it's gone. Oh, it's in the midway point. Still, Top Dragon out-sniping the stationary. And I do think that this one's going to be coming down to a 99.99.
Oh, that certainly looks that way. But it was a big commitment from Dream as well. They popped in 3 ultimates there. To be fair, Dynasty also threw in the extra Ant Matrix, and Krillin was thinking about the Ana for a hot second. We'll move away from that and go back over towards the back, because they really do need to play through the MO field. Prof to go to the Tracer to touch. It is going to affect their neutral, though. You're going to lose the Mei Ice Wall for the neutral, which is important, but he does... Oh, he touches, he just gets sniped. Oh, man.
Top Dragon is on it. The longest slam that I've got available, but I'm denied it by the end of the round. Ah, couldn't you hang on for just a second longer, Seoul Dynasty? The longest boy available.
Shadow was actually the only thing missing from this entire map. Dreamer didn't hit one, sadly.
Yeah.
Lucky.
That's an F. Kick him.
Dreamers will get the rest of it. They got everything else. And that's probably more valuable. What a shot from Top Dragon, though. Prophet gets touch. And typically, you know, you're a Tracer, you touch, and you might hang around for a hot second and then just TP away, recall, blink away, blink out. But Top Dragon just instantly headshots him, and that's 5v4 off the rip.
The reason that Top Dragon's a player that we're all very excited about here in APAC. Just wait till we get a Genji meta, man. I'll tell you. Who are you, number 2?
Oh, Viper might have something to say about that. He's also waiting for the Genji meta.
Tell you what, I'm hot on Viper as well.
2 lizards
Shanghai
going
Dragons
at it.
They have a good second half of the season. Could have a Rookie of the Year chance. Obviously, Donghak probably leading that conversation at the moment.
Bliss is trying to enter the conversation late, but he's
yes, he is.
He wants to make a claim for it. Here we go, though. Fight 1 coming through. Dreamers have discovered the Dynasty comp. It's got to be Brawl. Dreamers, they're going to go for some swaps. Not going to happen just yet. They'd have to lose a fight first and see if they can manage to penetrate the backline. Eichenwalde actually predicted that Dreamers would have gone towards the dive because he starts on Hanzo. Otherwise, you'd probably be more looking towards a Sojin again, maybe even a Symmetra. But Hanzo says to me that he expected this matchup and he's ready to snipe.
Yeah, Hanzo's really good at forcing the Ana off these angles as well to try and negate support coming in for something like a Winston's round. Oh, that's a huge anti that came through onto Eichenwalde, but not really going to be too much capacity to try and shut that one down. Seoul Dynasty, they just hold firm, cross your arms, Bellatrix, and take as much damage as you like, love.
The problem here with Dreamers is if they do go for a swap, and it doesn't look like they will, they would have to swap basically everything because none of this comp, none of these 5 heroes are the correct ones to match up and brawl. So Dreamers at this stage, they're going to just play this one through. They don't really have a choice. Seoul Dynasty working on those first ultimates. Be a good round for the Seoul Dynasty. Sad is still far away from the EMP, so not a lot of threat from Dreamers.
Yeah, so hard to stay in. Krillin, though. Oh, dove upon there. Great target selection coming through from Dreamers. Finally being able to turn this one around a little bit, but they're far from done. These brawl compositions are very dangerous when you start to get onto a point and everyone's in range of that Ramatra. Still the cleaver strong from Dreamer, keeping this at bay. Disengage is good. And Vindai just going to get a little attack here and there. Seoul Dynasty finally lose control as Dreamers probably going to be able to find themselves some staggers.
Yeah, they just got no trades there whatsoever. No shots from Eichenwalde Prophet landing, unfortunately. And Krillin instantly down is a huge problem. You're losing a lot of decent support there. Most of your healing, I would say. And this is all happening just before Dynasty get ultimates. You look at it. A bunch of 90s there. Bellatrix on 83. They were so close to ultimates. Had they had them, could have looked at Sound Barrier defend that one. Could have had a much better situation. And Krillin will once again be the target on the EMP.
That is a brutal dive, Seoul Dynasty. Unprepared for the storm that came. There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. He was unprepared.
Wasn't the Storm Arrows, unfortunately. Seoul Dynasty, 5 ults. Sad way to lose a fight when you get 5 ultimates, but they'll be able to use to go for the retake. Dreamer's still in a good position to play aggressively here. I mean, you can just nano Dreamer. He's still got a primal to play through. You can probably force some ultimates if you just get aggressive. What Dreamers can't afford to do, though, is allow Dynasty to rotate on the point, because once they get onto point, Annihilation plus Blizzard, it's going to be hard for Dreamers to play into.
Yeah, Misa's got to try and save their sleep dart as well when the Annihilation comes out. The Primal Rage to try and escape the Blizzard, but gets frozen up. And you know that everyone's hitting headshots to take down that Winston in short time. Prophet so close to dying, but you know that Krillin's got his boy, he's got his back every time. This feels a little bit superfluous, but hey, if Top Dragon's going to sail on into him and sail away, my son, it's maritime law, and the Navy's looking strong right now. That's a very curious nano.
Seoul Dynasty, they'll throw in all the ultimates as well. And yeah, you could say that maybe Dreamer slightly overcommitted. Now they're going to go for the raw swaps, and it does come late in the day. Okay, I partially understand this one. They'll wait till they've used a bunch of ultimates before they go for it, but it still does require a 5-man swap, and they're still going to be behind because there's not really a neutral. By the way, 80% Seoul Dynasty are basing on the last fight, and they can win this one on the Annihilation alone. If Bellatrix can just get hard pocketed, throw the ammo on him, save the crossfade, save everything for Bellatrix, and he can basically carry this fight because Dreamers have very little to use.
Reliable shield from Dreamer, though. That might be all they need. Prophet forced to move away, but can't get away quickly enough. Bellatrix now down on the Nemesis. The Annihilation's going to be required soon. Does Dreamer try and play it off a shield? Indeed he does. Just watch that timer to see if it keeps going down, but it's the damage that comes through harder. Seoul Dynasty at 99% are going to drop this one, and Vindam, well, he needs to get out, and he will.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Prophet also went down so early. Did he have his ice block just completely blown? Because there should be a lot of survivability. I mean, you got Emo, you got Ice Block, Belisria can keep him up with the extra HP from Annihilation. It's a surprising amount of damage, and surprising that Seoul Dynasty just let everyone go there. So double 99s here, but Dreamers have found ultimate, so this could be Dreamers taking away the map.
Stuck between a rock and a cold place, and Meeson's definitely the rock to the scissors. Belisria trying his best to survive. A double fire strike takes down Lijiang. Yes, I'm trapped in here for but a moment, but you're going to be trapped in here with me real soon. Seoul Dynasty, they still play only the Ram. They still opt to keep Void on the bench, and they will be consigned to the Void here on Antarctic Peninsula.
Well, they maybe were hoping for that sub-level to come on through to play a little bit of Winston, but not on map number 1. And they had a really good lead. I'm not going to lie. Seoul Dynasty coming through on labs. They had the first fight, or rather they had the final fight at an advantage. Annihilation at the ready. Just have to keep the players alive, losing Prophet. Then Belisria couldn't pocket him hard enough. Unfortunate way to go. Lijiang actually had some good shots to Hanzo as well, so things were looking on the up until it wasn't. Dreamers make the swap over towards the Rhine, and it's just better. They're better at the brawl, it seems, and we'll see if they're better for the rest of the series when we come back after this break. Rough start for the Seoul Dynasty. 0-2 on Antarctic Peninsula. They were in the lead on labs, so it was looking like we were going to go to a round 3 sub-level. Was going to be played, and that would then justify the Balestria substitution with Winston finally on that 3rd round. I thought Winston might have been played in the 2nd round anyway, because, you know, as you saw from the Dreamer side of things, they were happy to go over towards the Winston. Now as we head over leg day to map number 2 in Eichenwalde, yeah, this is where the Winston mirror surely gets played.
Surely. Surely on Eichenwalde, we are going to finally see the Winston mirror, and this is admittedly where Dynasty have been at their best, I think. Even though we often see, like, the difference between the Tiger and the Cat, sometimes Dynasty are amazing, and they have Goat Profit going hard. Sometimes Seoul Dynasty simply forget to log into Overwatch.
You want Playoffs Profit to show up, you have to do the summoning ritual. The summoning ritual is play the Tracer. That's really it. That's quite simple, but effective.
It's a one-step ritual.
You have to do it.
At that point, it's more of a
because he's not looking happy right now. He's head in hands. He's not feeling it. So you have to summon the Tracer. Okay? You pick the Tracer character and you summon Playoffs Profit. That's the only way.
Let me see some candles in chat. Summoning circle. Hope this works. I don't want to have a 6-0 for us today, Avril. I got up early to cast some banger APAC matches. I refuse to be denied. As we head over to Eichenwalde next for our hybrid game, this is gonna be like a bellwether for the rest of the series here, as we're likely going to be seeing the standard comps go up against each other. We're going to see the same on Route 66, the same on Esperança. Lijiang Tower obviously can get a little bit wacky with the Symmetras, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. And Seoul Dynasty, they've got to bounce back a little bit mentally after losing out on what I think should have been a fairly easy take back for them.
Should have been at least a 2-1, not a 2-0, yeah. I think. Maybe it would have been a 2-1 in Dynasty's favor, but they needed to win labs. They just couldn't. Something about the Brawl Mirror. I think that Brawl Mirror is going to be very scary. This is why, unfortunately, if it goes to 5, I don't have faith in Dynasty to take number 5. Because Lijiang Tower is very favorable for Brawl. And Dreamer's going to be in there swinging his Ryan Hammer, and unfortunately, Seoul Dynasty, it doesn't look like they can contest that at all. So yeah, if Dynasty going to win,
goes to 5.
They need to win these next 3, and they're going to do it on dive.
Yeah. So if you're a Dynasty fan, summoning circle, get the Tracer Profit up in here, because yeah, Lijiang Tower likely to be poor showing for Seoul Dynasty. It's an amazing showing for Dreamers, who are just crazy on that Reinhardt. Dreamer just Korean hardy, no respect, roll into their back line, don't care, didn't ask, swinging a hammer at you.
Here we go. This is what the Dynasty surely need. Vindime also back on a Brig, which has always been his signature. A Dragon starting out on Echo, which is a little bit unusual for this map. Not completely dismissed in terms of its ability to be played, but here it is. And yeah, with Eichenwalde down, sleep in tow. Dynasty got to make sure they don't lose anybody else here. They got to wait for Eichenwalde while sustaining the rest of the members. And one easy way to do that is to abandon the point, give away 2 ticks, come back in.
Yeah, this is going to make re-engagement a little bit more tough on Krillin, though. Getting those LOSs over the leap is going to be difficult. So Profit goes for a distraction, but instantly gets his recall forced out. Sad coming in from behind, but it's Eichenwalde elsewhere. He's managed to find a 1 versus 1 onto Top Dragon. Maybe an anti-nade helping out with that as well. We saw a little bit of assist coming through from the Ana. Belosria continues to cling to life. This Mortal Coil refuses to claim the Gorilla, as Krillin tries his best to keep Sad at bay. Elsewhere, Meeson's the first one to fall when it comes to the Ana duel. And what a well-done re-engage.
And a much better Baroness coming through from Krillin as well. He landed a couple of those. He landed one as Profit touches the point. That might have gone, I think it was a lineup that actually goes over the roof, if I'm not mistaken, and then lands another one onto the back line on Dada and Misson as well in the middle of the fight while keeping Balestria alive. So Krillin really making sure the Seoul Dynasty were not going to lose that first point. Profit also staying alive. Huge help. Now has a false spot.
Big shoes to fill being now on the Seoul Dynasty, obviously. Ryu Jae-hong for a long while. Legacy Ana for this team. Legend in his own right. Top Dragon going low. Can the finish come through? Yeah, Eichenwalde grabs that one. Easy, mate. It's a deep dive elsewhere from Dreamer. Almost has a primal rage. Wants to try and stay in this battle. Pulse Bomb grabs nothing but Profit. Still going. Doesn't care. Don't need a Pulse Bomb. I'm just throwing this away to keep myself lighter, my guy. I need to move fast. I can't take the excess weight.
And now this is a Dynasty that we were expecting. And Profit, I think we got enough candles in there. He's in. Dragon. Dreamers to the sword.
Power, man.
Well, they only got one tick left to defend though, so Seoul can't afford to lose any more players that would force them to reset, because they can't reset. They have to play everything through, but 4 ultimates means, I mean, it's a lot to play through, and Dreamers still waiting for their own 4 ultimates. I think the Dynasty ultimates are a bit more important though.
Disengagement incredibly limited. There's the EMP. It breaks down Dada. Someone was camping that translocator, yes, but I'm afraid you lost your support over the entirety of this. Everyone's a hostage in the back. I don't think your duplicate's going to save you, mate. Top Dragon bottomed out. Seoul Dynasty rebuff for big attack. Only 1 ultimate used by Dreamers, though, so...
Yep.
There was a friend.
2 from Dynasty, but worthwhile, because I think if you're Vindime, you can't afford Krillin to go down there, so you have to keep him up at all costs. Throw the rally in there. If you lose Krillin, it's a huge run back distance in Dreamers. Again, they only have to take 1 tech. There's a very good chance they do that in a 5v4. So everyone's got to live on the Dynasty.
All the stick rebuffed by the nano. Keeps Dada alive. Look at this. Disengage. Don't need to try and fight that one. Instead, we're just going to try and force out the primal from Dreamer, already going super low. Hunter's Lodge. And the hunting's real good, baby. We found ourselves a rare gorilla, and I'm sure there's got to be many laws against that, but the poachers are getting their win this day. Primal Rage that's missing into a position he really don't want to be. Dada's got his back up against the cliffs. The 300 kick's going to send them down into the waste of a Black Forest. And yeah,
it's just profit. It's just profit. He's going to go up against 2. Dreamer and Sad rolling up at the moment. And Prophet, we can't survive here, and it's not looking good again. There's no healers, there's no teammates, nobody here at all. Can they touch still? No, got to give it up. Yeah, lost too many. They spent too long chasing Dada and Missing. They couldn't take them down. They finally get Dada and Missing, but they lose everybody for it minus Prophet.
And Sad, new player coming into the league, going into that 1v1 against Prophet, surviving that long enough to chase him off. Big tick in my column, Avril.
It's 2v1 because Dreamer was there as well contesting, so...
He took his time. Let's have his moment. Oh, yeah, that's going to be an easy dive. Missing destroyed. And aggression once again coming to the Seoul Dynasty. Confidence re-established.
See the difference in the pressure on the back lines here as well. Dada and Missing between them, 10 deaths, 5 apiece, and Krillin Vindime just the 1 each, so 2 total. A huge amount of damage and dive coming through from Seoul Dynasty, and Dream is just trying to stay alive, and now they'll have to do it up against an EMP. Easy on his full vision. This is a little aggressive if he wants to go for it. It'll be hard for Prophet to follow up, and likely Easy Han's gonna save it for a little bit later until Dynasty, or until rather Dreamers try and go through the Porcas. But the Sad down, that's not gonna happen yet.
So paranoid. The Scarecrow Fear Gas being fit over here to Meesin. As Easy Han just goes for the old hack and hide. Keep themselves, of course, that keeps the Ana highlighted as well to allow for more informed dives.
At this point, though, because he's hacking the backline, Dreamers know that Easy Han is there. They can't really deal with him unless they can reveal him. And this choke is being held firmly by the Seoul Dynasty. Maybe Top Dragon can break it if he just gets himself onto the backline. But, yeah, just one bone, and that's all it's going to be.
Rally pop just to make sure that overhealth is keeping Krillin alive even when there's no healing to be had. Still, health can be generated. We don't need to heal health. We'll just make new health. Capitalism.
And Dreamers had to back out there. Top Dragon, unfortunately, super committed, but someone is going to make a play. I mean, you're Dreamers. You're looking for a situation where you can break open the Seoul Dynasty defense. One of those ways is to dive bomb duplicate, but what a sleep from Krillin to instantly shut down Top Dragon, who will now go over towards the Sombra himself. But late in the day, no opportunity for an EMP. To be fair, Easy Han also isn't going to have it. Prophet dying here. That could be costly.
Caught in black in Belos. Rhea doesn't use the primal. I maybe was expecting the nano. Soul Dynasty seems to be falling apart here.
I am okay with him not using the primal because you're now saving it for the actual final fight on OT. So I think maximizing resources for OT is fine for the Dynasty, but they're getting picked apart. They can't afford to lose members. That part is not good.
Very no bueno. Dreamer takes out Vindime 2. And suddenly, Seoul Dynasty, yes, they're going to be coming back with 3 ultimates, but this is all gravy for Dreamers. Extra pushing on the cart. We've got Dada up high, ready to pop the rally at a moment's notice. Dreamers' backline is going to be very stalwart.
Final difference here should be a huge difference maker, I think. Vindime didn't get... Oh, I think you just nano Vindime there. You can't afford to lose anybody. It is traded for Missing, though. Nano Easy Han. They want the EMP.
Oh. That's a mega pack. Keeping Easy Han alive for a moment. EMP takes out Top Dragon, and finally Seoul Dynasty collapse atop this mountain. A well-played Suzu. Vindime arrives just in time, teleports in. Suzu's nothing personnel, kid. And Dreamers are halted at the end of B.
I think we always knew that Dynasty were massively favored to win that final fight in the OT. The issue is that they lost way too many members after Balasria. Losing Prophet's one thing. Losing Balasria is entirely another. And again, I'm not that upset about him holding the Prime. I think holding the Prime was fine because, again, we're trying to play for the final fight, not that particular one. But then also losing more players after Balasria dies, that's what's going to cost you a lot of distance, because Prophet and Balasria respawning, you can still hold probably the bridge. Maybe the payload doesn't actually get across the bridge. That is a much better defense. The fact that the payload gets to end of B, considering Dreamers were almost spawn camped on B, is a lot to gain for Dreamers, considering how much they were losing.
Yeah, this is very much winnable. If the last series was anything to go by, 1 point and most of the progress on B, works on Midtown, works on Dorado. Why not Eichenwalde? Seoul Dynasty now, though. They can definitely manufacture themselves some pretty pristine dives. They're looking much better on the standard comp compared to the chaos that Rush invites.
The Dragon's going to go Echo again for Aang. So a lot of roof play here. Around the bell tower as well. The issue is their backline was being torn apart by the Tracer Sombra Winston trio dive coming through from the Seoul Dynasty. Might be a little bit harder for them to do the attack, considering you get much better positioning on the defense. Also remember, Seoul Dynasty nearly got entirely rolled on A when they had to go for the retake, and that was not an easy retake for them to do, but a very successful one eventually.
Save point can be a big decider. An attempt at a flicking sleep, but Dream just going to keep this held down nonetheless. For now, Prophet just continues to drill away at that Winston, taxing the healers, making sure they can't make any deeper dives. Oh, but what a drop down from Top Dragon. Multiple sticks, and then the tri-shot head onto Prophet. It's an instant execution.
Just waiting for ults here. Easy Hunt dying is going to slow that down, though, which is a bit of an issue. For Dynasty, you would not like to see Balasria staggered. He looks like he'll get out alive, and importantly, that's going to be transferred healing into ult charge for Krillin, who's far ahead of missing out. So Balasria going to low HP, but surviving allows him to have a nano advantage, and Dynasty need a timing like that to break through the choke.
Yeah, so much pressure at the choke itself here as well. Just making sure that Krillin and Vindime can't make any inroads without having to pay the troll kill. Top Dragon taken down by Prophet. That is a huge pick here. This gives so much freedom over to Balasria. There's a huge amount of mass going to be missing. What a stick. Gets rid of Vindime for seconds and it's needed, and Sad gets even more. Goat, he says, nah, man, I'm farming over here. And that might well be Seoul Dynasty having to bring the tempo down a little bit. Disengage as they wait for their more hardy members to return. Krillin's dashing for a health pack, and Easy Hunt's got to move away.
Entirely going to remove away the timing advantage from the Seoul Dynasty, because they would have had the nano advantage. Seoul Dynasty were looking good. Prophet taking down Top Dragon 5 versus 4. Now they're still going to miss it, so they'll get a 5v4 again, and Misson doesn't get to use a nano, so that's very important. Quick trade, though, from Sad, assisted by Top Dragon. It's going to keep things at least even for Dreamers. They lost a tick. We'll lose a second. Dreamers going to come back.
Two players on cart. Balasria can try and make him play the objective here with the Primal Rage. Knock him off, but Top Dragon, a secondary Tracer. Two-time Demons to deal with. Vindime in his sights, but he's running out of time. And EMP here to try and take out Dada. It is incredibly successful as Balasria just tries to grab everyone off this cart. There's only a tick and a little bit less than that to give away as Dreamer does make the space. Top Dragon able to grab this. Got to be careful to make sure that cart is touched. Easy Hunt continues threatening just to make sure that there's not going to be any opportunity to try and get those staggers, but Easy Hunt might have staggered himself here with his transfer.
He got revealed. Top Dragon was spinning the beam around and inside the top floor of that building to try and find him, and he will get that find. 2 ticks given away.
Spinning. That's a cool trick.
Seoul Dynasty have done a decent amount of work on the point, but couldn't quite secure the point away for a full camp. This is going to impact the amount of time they have to play for B, and well, that's where all the magic is going to happen. And speaking of magic, that is a brilliant sleep dart, resulting in a kill. And now another 5v4 plus nano in hand. Krillin, so make sure that this one gets played in. The Dreamers can't afford to give up the point.
Down to the Fortunes, looking for a stick, but it's not even needed. Just beat Streamer to death instead. Sad pops in onto a point to try and keep it contested, but as you move into the line of fire, Oh, they're just burned away. Dada, the ult, it does nothing. Vision going to be down as well. That's even more. Stagger's going to be spawning all the way back in the castle.
Top Dragon dies. That's 7 kills, by the way. So in a whole team fight in a 5v5 game, that would have been a lot of deaths in a row for Dreamers. Extra rally is going to be unfortunate. I think, though, you know, Dreamers, you can understand. They want to try and see if they can play that one in there, but Nana from Krillin, as expected, onto Bellastry is just going to block out Dreamers entirely. And it's a 1-for-1 support ult trade as we now move in towards B. Seoul Dynasty looking at EFU. What a stick from Prof! That was nearly vertical.
He's just different, man. Looking to once again get those MVPs, get that player of the match. But for now, he'll settle for just a map to be taken off Dreamers. Top Dragon noted. Spellos 3 just giving him the zaps on the behind to keep him otherwise.
So, payload pressure important here because you want the payload to be in the final part of the map for the EMP to play. And the later the EMP can be used here with the further the payload distance, the better it is. Easy on though. He's looking at some tasty targets and might go for it actually. Especially to support Bellastry, but he's revealed himself, so not going to happen just yet. Payload is also stalled, so now Seoul Dynasty has to do something to continue. Maybe not with Proper Dead.
Nano came on through. It's onto Dreamer, who just helping to tear through the backline with the help of Sad, who picks up a bunch of final blows. It's been a big game for Sad. Currently 9 final blows, the highest on the team. Yeah, it's not as good as Prophet, who's sitting at 14, but hey, newer player, big rookie.
EMP for that fight, by the way. So Seoul Dynasty try to turn it around after Prophet dies. Hit the back lane with the EMP, but no Prophet on the EMP dive. Just easy kind of Bellastry. It turns out not enough. And both Dada and Mr. survive. So at minimum, Dynasty were looking for trades there. Even if you lose the fight with trades, you can come out much stronger off the rip on this next engagement. But Dreamers holding good positions. That's two-pronged situation. Look, Dreamers hold 2 different sets of high ground here. And that's hard for Dynasty to break.
Michael went in a different game of 50-50. Bellastry easily healed up here. Seoul Dynasty, a quick reset, but we still have to deal with these angles. The same angles again and again. Sleep doesn't come through. It's a sacrifice of a shield to make that one happen, but Sad elsewhere is isolated. The card starts to roll, but Bellastry wants a little bit more than that. The whip shot gets a little purchased. Remember, Dreamer still easily targeted over here by Missing from a long way away, and is keeping these
Dreamer's holding double supports.
Primal Rage. How? This is so much value, Avril.
Yeah, I mean, but the supports of Dynasty can't get out right now. They can't get LOS onto Bellastry or the rest of the team. And Dreamer, he can't get into trouble because he's got the Primal ready to go, and extra damage from Missing's going to collect Krillin away. Yeah, Payload's going to reach the end, and Sad might go down here as well. Dreamers are going to get pulled back. We'll see if Bellastry can make the Primal happen as well, because otherwise Dreamers were looking fine in that situation. Bellastry dives away. It's going to be a reset. OT's about to approach. Primal is very important here in the OT, but it's going to be enough. They need damage.
The damage will be forthcoming from Prophet. Another miracle. Maybe to get his team into a prime position. Does not connect. A little bit of damage possible on the other side. Goes over to Bellastry. Forces out the Primal Rage instead. Mad Monkey Fists are swinging. And yes, looking for an environmental too. Dada hits the floor. Who's going to come in and touch the cart though? Overtime moving away. Bellastry is so low. It's the duplicated EMP. The second one around. But now Weezy has to go in and make it happen by himself. It's Prophet at the back. Kill after kill coming through from the esteemed GOAT, and Seoul Dynasty by the skin of their fur will just about get it done on Eichenwalde.
Just trying to imagine what skin of the fur is, because fur to me is like that either hair, on the skin,
by the fur of their skin,
by the furry. Yes, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna complete that word. At the same time, wow, Bellastry is surviving there. Full environmental kill to Dada. Easycon didn't even need the EMP, and I thought the EMP would have ended up being the difference maker. 30% away was Eichenwalde at the top of the fight, needing to find an extra ultimate to pull it over for the Seoul Dynasty. And if Bellastry dies during the Primal, it's probably over. But as I mentioned before we go into the fight, Primal in the OT, extremely important, and Seoul Dynasty deliver on that promise. The Prophet as well, showing it for the extra frags. They did not see 9. They pushed it all the way through, and now we're 1-1 as we head into the break. The candles were out for the summoning circle to get the Prophet Tracer back online, and that certainly was a big factor for the Seoul Dynasty in taking down Dreamers, where unfortunately a different kind of candle, Dreamers' demise on Eichenwalde, certainly was. Let's see what happens on map number 3 here, as the game looks much more evened up now that we're away from the brawl. Oh, by the way, Liga gets subbed in.
Yeah, time to mix it up. Seoul Dynasty managed to pull off the hoodwinking of Eichenwalde, and so Liga rolls in place of Dreamer. And we have seen previously with Dreamer, yeah, Route 66. I haven't seen a huge amount of this map. I would expect that there would have been more Winston, but maybe Liga's going to come in and play something a little bit more akin to a Diva to try and be a little bit more defensive.
In Meta's past, we saw a lot of Sigma here. I don't know if we're going to get that today, but it is one of Liga's specialties. As well as the fact that you mentioned Diva is probably the quintessential hero in his hero pool. Beyond that, though, yeah, not really going to be looking at the Winston at all. That's not part of the hero pool. So, best you're going to get here, if things go towards the brawl for maybe a C point, looking over towards the Liga Ram, which was a bit of a problem when Dreamer was playing the Rhine, in terms of, I'm just looking at brawl comp generally. See how that ends up happening, though, because Route 66 is one of those maps where dive starts to get really rough on C.
Oh yeah, that long C area, definitely an Anna's playground. In times long past, Zenyatta's could very much sow the seeds of chaos, discord, and harmony all over it. But unlike this, Zenyatta's now you can be 3-2-1 by players of this caliber. I haven't seen too much of it recently, but obviously Dynasty likely going to continue playing where the success has been. Just continue to play that standard. It's a fairly universal comp with the exceptions of like some maps on Lijiang Tower where holding the point can just be far too good. I don't think that's going to be as much of a case on the first 2 points of Route 66 there.
Well, time to find out what the game plan is here for Dreamers. And start things off, it's going to be a quick pause. But Diva highlighted for the start, so we were expecting something like that. It was either going to be Diva or Sigma, and it's going to be the Diva.
Diva, of course, does have multiple means of trying to mess with the incoming assaults of the standard composition. Most paramount, of course, would be eating the anti-nade if you can get a quick one over on an Anna. If that's being scouted well by a Sombra, you know exactly where that's going to be coming from, and that can make an overall dive a little bit more toothless from a Winston and allow for a more longevity from something like an Anna Brigitte backline.
Points A and B here are going to be where the Seoul Dynasty need to put their focus on trying to win Route 66, and extremely important as well, as we mentioned, due to the fact that they lost Antarctic Peninsula. They need to win the next 3 maps in Ike Route.
Yep.
And map number 4 is going to be Esperança, so very important to get those 3 done for 3-1. So if this goes to 5, we got a Lijiang. It's not looking good for the Seoul Dynasty. They would have to face the Dreamer Ryan again, and wouldn't be favoring Seoul Dynasty in that particular matchup. So this one needs to go the way of Seoul again.
Do it in 4 or be a very sad tiger. I would love to see a world where Seoul Dynasty are not a write-off on a rush map, but given what we saw previously, I'm not willing to make that assumption just yet. We've got ourselves a slight ping issue coming through from Liga. Of course, Liga has had some exposure in the league before. Was on the Hangzhou Spark for a while. I think somewhat criminally underrated. Yeah.
Played one map.
Underutilized.
He played one map of Sigma and King's Row, and that was it. That was the only time we saw him.
One map of Sigma on King's Row.
That was it. Last year,
that's so weird.
It was a time, yeah. Like we've had Sigma meta on King's Row as well. Funny enough, not hard meta, but a viable pick.
Yeah, I figured it would have been
those
like
days when you had different
Royale.
viable picks.
Yeah, can you imagine? How do you try and dislodge Winston without making him useless there? He's always on a razor's edge.
Oh, you gotta buff
balance.
them other tanks, I guess. Buff them tanks.
Akaros
give Diva a real ultimate. That could help.
That would really help. An ultimate where your team don't have a missing tank.
If you give Diva a better ultimate, she's going to absolutely decimate low ranks. You're going to start seeing, in a 5v5 games, you're about to start seeing 10k Diva bombs. The pro level, a Diva bomb it might as well not exist. It's a glorified, I get my life back ultimate, and that's it.
And sometimes you don't even get that. Because, hey,
no, because people at this level are very good at killing the baby divas.
Yeah.
So.
Like, the baby diva survives a lot better at the low ranks because, hey, it's small, hitbox is hard, but at this level, you aren't missing that baby diva.
Okay.
Back in finally. Oh, Krillin, nah.
So it's going to be
just
an actual Hanzo default, which I don't mind. I think Hanzo's, especially for the early portions, early section of A, is decent for the Hanzo. It does get a little bit worse the back end of A, which unfortunately is also the more important end of A.
Exchange of Bionades there, Vindine. Forced to move away, but of course that shield stays sturdy. And we go again.
Also going to be difficult for Eichenwalde to get too much done here as well. Has to somehow flank away and get himself a hack, but flanking on early A route is not easy at all. Second Bionade connecting once again on Bellisri and Vindine. This has hit that back-to-back now. Prophet and Top Dragon racing for first pulse bomb.
I think it's going to be slightly harder for Prophet with all of these targets down on the, or rather up on the high ground. It's going to take some considerable doing to get up there and might well be telegraphed. Could allow for some potential counterplay here, especially in the form of something like a defense matrix. It's going to change the overall calculus for the Tracer.
Krillin also lagging on the nano here, so needs to be able to find that very quickly. It's about a minute 15 gone and still stuck in spawn for the time being, and I think a lot of this does come from the pressure of the Hanzo standing with Dragon Strike. You see the damage output's been good. I do believe that once Dynasty get past this early section though, their comp will flourish, but getting past that is the difficulty so far as Dragon Strike comes through.
Oh, that's a nice pulse one though. Prophet delivers as he always has done, it seems. Missing down, and that's going to make this Diva even more vulnerable without the pumping heals of the Ana. The Diva won't last long. Prophet finds that one. Dada's next on the list. It's Christmas shopping for Prophet, and it's happening in July. Okay, though. That's going to maybe put a hole in... Yeah.
He got his bag checked.
Stop in the name of the law.
That's what happened there. But still, allows Seoul Dynasty to break through, and now Eichenwalde importantly has flanking angles. Sad is on it. Yeah, okay, this Hanzo is starting to show up big time now. I mean, it was already showing up damage-wise early on for the defense, but now the frag is going to be there as well. Still, though, the important thing is that Eichenwalde has a flank going. Jesus Christ, Prophet. Twice in a row.
Oh, man. So sad,
Permanently
so sad.
banned from the shop.
Yeah. Lifetime ban, mate. Gonna need to see a license for those goods. Belos Rear just forced to wait around with the primal rage. He's got all this pent-up anger. Gonna need to write a journal or something to get it out.
This is a really bad slowdown for Dynasty. Now Payload's starting to move backwards quite quickly. Eichenwalde is still waiting. He's twiddling his thumbs because his team needs to be alive for this EMP to be played in.
Nice hack, but hey, it's free healing for Mason. He's so far back, it's going to be real difficult to get on top of. Prophet sends out a pulse bomb, but doesn't really get any purchase here, and Dreamer's still not forced to use anything in the way of ults just yet. Top Dragon's building up towards his own pulse bomb. Just going to, of course, be used to try and chunk down that tank if it's deemed desirable. Everyone now into this central area. That just means everyone gets the extra cushion coming through from the Brigitte. Wow. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away for Belos Rear. And it is a very sad primal.
Yeah, we need to see the EMP being played. You need to be playing this actual dive in, but they're constantly down a player. Dreamers were sitting on 5 ultimates, now on 4, still strong. Dreamers have 6 final blows, and they're all on Sad. He's got a 100% deadlift.
Dada taken down. Meesin says, none of that, thanks, mate. Quick execution. Sad getting even more final blows. Let the boy cook, because he's absolutely frying the Seoul Dynasty right now, making himself some tiger steaks, and they are not ethically sourced, I can tell you that for free. Yes, there's been some push on the cart right here in Seoul Dynasty. They swapped Eichenwalde over to the Widowmaker. That might come into play just later as Prophet looking for an opening here and finds it onto Sad. The Hanzo hard carry removed as now Eichenwalde takes his time lining up the shot. It's Molasses slow, and it's unable to connect. This does give some time over for Lijiang to use that ultimate. Nothing gained, of course, not the greatest ultimate, and Liga is going to get back into mech though. That's what's most important, that additional presence on the point as Belos Rear remains healthy, remains with the shield. Top Dragon desperately wants to get himself this pulse and try and put it onto one of the squishier targets. You can see them down on the ground. Belos Rear's full. Prophet's gone as well. Overtime is finished, and Seoul Dynasty. Bonkers defense from Dreamers.
Yeah. Mostly coming through from the shots on Sad's Hanzo. If it wasn't for the fact that he dies to Prophet's pulse bomb, he might have continued his 100% deadlift. But a couple players, Top Dragon League, also got in towards the end, though, as did Dada. Actually, all three of them managed to get a final blow each. But the damage has been done. Seoul Dynasty had, I think, one good opportunity to get an EMP fight while their team was alive, and Sad just put a stop to that so quick. It's twice in a row deleting Prophet. And what can you do if you're Seoul Dynasty? You just can't even have 5 alive to make a play happen. Your payload is then starting to move backwards. You're losing all this time. And Prophet, despite finally getting Sad down, I mean, Dreamers were sitting on way too many ultimates on the defense, and right into the OT we go. I actually feel like the Widowmaker was a good choice, but it needed to come out quicker. Probably for the Dynasty, they expected themselves to be able to get past the early section a lot faster than that, and they just did not.
Oh, Bellisria dragging over that Sonic Arrow as well to Prophet. Give Sad all the information that's needed. Here's another headshot. That's so many. This guy's crazy.
One more. Here we go. Boom.
One more.
Encore. I got one more in me.
Eichenwalde's got 0 final blows, by the way.
Yes.
Unable to bring himself to headshot me.
The issue is, okay, that Krillin headshot probably needed to happen, but the issue is, he wasn't even the problem. He was waiting for his team to be in position for an EMP dive, and it never happened because Sad was fragging everybody. Eichenwalde sitting there invis with an EMP ready to go, but they just didn't have 5.
Okay, now more opportunity to try and constrain Sad. Prophet, especially on the Ash, is going to put on that long-range pressure.
It's extremely rare to see Prophet on here like this.
It's shades of 2020.
But
I think when he played this,
it's very common to see Bellisri on the balls.
Yeah, he do be balling.
They're balling now.
Retweet this if Bellisri is balling, and balling he is. The Zen. We did talk about the Zen on point C. We weren't expecting it to come out in this kind of unorthodoxy.
Brick Zen is pretty normal for Sombra Ball. The only thing missing here is the Prophet Tracer. I mean, we'd be right back in 2021 if that was the comp.
A warmer time, a nicer time, maybe a better time for Seoul Dynasty, where they aren't getting full held by contenders teams. But hey, Bellisria, big problems here. Does manage to get away, but remember, the overall healing available is going to be pretty predicated on picking up those health packs as well, because the 30 HPS from the Zen Orb don't get you much on that ball.
He just lives on the ball. Krillin, though, he doesn't live. Our Dreamers should be off to the races. Payload moving along. Lots of low HP there. Vindine also got anti. And that's both two supports gone. Krillin only just respawned, and the point is about to be capped. Missing is dead. Bellisri's gonna have to swing in here. League is killing everybody. This map's about to be over. And I'm not gonna lie, despite self-destruct being bad ult, this is where it's good. Right here, as the point's about to be capped.
Explosive after explosive, a small bomb and maybe a big one as well. Krillin's going to need more than a Senzu beam to get through here, and Dreamers dominate on Route 66. Now, Avril, this drags us to the map 5 question.
Yeah, it will.
Seoul Dynasty, if they win, they've got to do it on Lijiang Tower.
And the problem is, I mean, when you look at Seoul Dynasty's history on Route 66, they also lost it to O2 Blast in very similar fashion, where it was the Hanzo that put them in the grave. But last time, it was the Hanzo, or the Prophet, who really showed up and dismantled the Seoul Dynasty, and this time it's Sad on the Hanzo. It's the Hanzo on Route 66 the Dynasty cannot deal with at all, but at least back then, Dynasty got past A. Here, they could not cap at all. Big fat 0 on the scoreline as we head into map number 4, and a must-win. The Dreamers on match point. We'll see you soon. Dreamers on match point here. Not a good day for the Seoul Dynasty unless they can bring it back 2 more maps to do so, including our final map, which would be Lijiang Tower, which would also, I fear, be a Brawl Central map. Dreamers with Dreamer coming back on the Rhine. Still yet to be seen, though, because first, we're going to see Esperança first, and Dreamer's going to come into play. A little bit of Winston once more. Liga comes in, plays his 1 map, wins his 1 map, dominates his 1 map with a little bit of help. A lot of help, actually, from Sad on the Hanzo. He did a bunch of the heavy lifting there. But we'll still give Dreamers the 2-1.
A lead's a lead, Avril, and it is just as painful, just as fear-mongering for the Seoul Dynasty. Esperança, we're hoping it can have echoes of Eichenwalde. Return to that classic dive versus dive. Some good old-fashioned blue-collar 9-to-5 Overwatch, playing the standard compositions. And I've been, Prophet has been the secret sauce on the Tracer, and that's not really going to be a surprise to anyone who's been living under a rock in Overwatch Esports.
Which is why I was surprised he played the Ashe. Like, if you're gonna have an Ashe player, that's probably easy Hans Hero to play through. At least play the Tracer Ashe, right? Like, Sombra Ashe? I don't know about that. I think Seoul Dynasty would maybe in a state of desperation for the defense anyway. It seemed like they were quite desperate to make something work, and so, well, the ball is normally a good bailout for the Seoul Dynasty, but there's just not enough map left to play through on the rest of the A. So here we are on Esperança after a 1-0 full hold from the Dreamer squad. This is going to be... I mean, it's not even guaranteed that they can bring this back Dynasty that as it is on Esperança, despite I think the Eichenwalde look was pretty good. So they can channel that again. Things will be good, but I could also say that part of their issue for Dreamers on Eichenwalde was the consistent echo play. Like, it's good, but not hard meta, and so I think Seoul Dynasty was able to get around and get success there by abusing the fact that Top Dragon was sitting on the echo.
Yeah, both of these teams are 2-1 on push, so even Stevens. Admittedly, Escort, not a very good game type for Dynasty. They're now 1-4 on it, so plenty of targeted coaching that can come out for that map number 3. I think I'll be happy to try and have some return to normalcy. Look for that echo. It's going to be sad maybe that rolls out on it this time. Dreamers have so much variety.
I don't think this is an echo map.
You think it's a prank?
That'd be a huge mistake for Dreamers.
Nah, you're right. Big mistake. Huge mistake.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You know, it's you're looking for something when the drone is shining a light in the middle of the day, whatever it's looking at out in the open.
What is he seeking?
What is Blood looking at? As we take a look at
what is Bruv scanning?
Take a look at the mid map here. I think this is our first like real good proper mirror, because even on Ike, again, there was a lot of the echo play, so it wasn't a proper mirror.
Exchange of fire between the Annas. This often can be what decides these early fights, when you see one of these Annas win out in the exchange of biotic darts going each way. That's a nice little anti there. Both Dada and Dreamer are grabbed. That means Dada was actually a little bit further forward than maybe you anticipated. Top Dragon overplays their hand to try and relieve some of the pressure, and the Valve did get touched, yes, but it touches right back, and Bellows 3 racks the nerves.
So 5v4, Dynasty need to be able to try and convert this further, but a huge Bionate from Mr. will force them back, and this team has been hitting plenty of these Bionates today. That's actually going to rebuff the Seoul Dynasty. Just a single 3-man Bionate makes things so much more difficult. This was actually hella Krillin, but Krillin with Bellastriga taking a bunch of damage will be able to heal himself ahead in the nano race.
Alright, profit time. Big Baller looking for an opening here, but for now it is basically a stalemate. 9 meters. All for Seoul Dynasty get off of that initial pseudo fight win, even though Dreamer was not taken away. Nano given over. It's given over to Easy Harm, maybe to try and make the EMP more potent, save him potentially from EMP of Sad, who struck first.
I think that could have just been a mispositioning there. It was meant for Bellastriga, but Easy Harm might have stolen that one away. Who knows? You'd have to see Krillin's POV to really understand. Both nanos are expended now. Dreamers also didn't really get much out of their nano either, so both of those will go into the win.
Split here. They want the Ana, and they get the Ana indeed. Meeson falls. There's going to be a rally coming through from Dada. Doesn't have too much health to work with. Vindame a little bit more healthy, but with a little bit less behind him. And that's going to be the Prophet can easily clear up. The GOAT has returned.
He's profiting.
Health on a Tracer as well. It's ridiculous.
Well, he'll keep chasing here. He doesn't want top dragons to get away.
1v2. Oh, looking for the melee.
Yeah,
it's
even
so
with
clean.
Dreamer coming back in, doesn't matter. He'll clean him up. Playoffs Prophet on point when the Tracer comes through. That you can be assured of.
This guy's something special. We've known it since Season 1, even before that GC Busan era. A pulse bomb. A singular kill, potentially. Dada Meeson likely to be the target as Dreamer puts himself between the barricade and progress. And a Rai pulse bomb here does give it an extra lease of life to Meeson, but even more pressure might well be coming on through as Dreamer gets on top of his back line. Yes, there is going to be a final race to try and keep him alive, and that means that Meeson doesn't have to play as aggressively, but stuck inside a little restaurant. Quick withdrawal from Belos Ria.
No cap.
For
So
Seoul Dynasty.
Dreamers held on. Oh, but can they hold on longer though? Because Prophet's back on. He's back in play. He's getting everybody. The back line's entirely dead. Dreamer, does he even bother? Probably not. Save your Primal, son. No, he's not going to save his Primal. He's trying to turn around. He got two.
He can deny the cap here, potentially. It's going to be bloody difficult to do,
He's got
and
no
that's
healing.
a lot of ult charge. Oh, if Meeson can actually turn this into ult charge, that may well be good effort towards a nano.
Cap did come on through, so Dynasty,
Spawn.
at minimum, will have that to work with, so big advantage. In the grander scheme of the map.
EMP versus EMP here. That's going to be the difference maker. Oh, cheeky bridge contest. Very
difference maker will be
interactive gameplay.
Vindime, if you can get this rally, will be the difference maker, I think.
Or an opening pick onto Krillin. That might well be enough. Profit
Traded,
elsewhere.
though.
Yeah.
That's a better trade. You prefer that.
Especially when you're trying to control this bot. You ain't going nowhere, Dreamers, says Seoul Dynasty. You must pay the troll toll, and the trolls, oh, they're extortionate, mate. Top Dragon slaying for now. Bit of Witcher blood in him, maybe. I'll hunt down that troll for you, no worries.
That was
A
an
couple
EMP,
silver
though.
and I'll get it done.
They needed the EMP for Vindime, and while Prophet will just instantly return the favor. A little bit of assistance from Krillin. Still holding the EMP is going to be easy, how they can get a much better situation out of this. Ideally, where is Prophet? You need Prophet to come through on the side as well. And he arrives. Oh my god, he arrives.
Oh, when Prophet arrives, you know, a backline eviscerated, a dream dead in the river. And a quick reset here as Top Dragon.
Prophet's on 9 out of 12 final blows for the entire team. Jesus Christ.
Declare the deadlift is dead. All hail the Prophet deadlift.
Well, cap
Oh,
has been
actually,
taken again.
just got the cap.
No, that was to get the forward spawn.
Oh, the forward spawn activated. Pardon me. Goofy moment in my brain.
But we keep going. Because now we're into the 70s. Talk about Seoul needing to win this map. Looking comfortable so far. As Dreamers have... If they want to fight, you think they might have got one fight. They've at least got 11 meters in distance. Prophet on point as he is so far. I mean, it's hard days for Dreams to get anything done. 4 ults, look at the stack.
Consistently blockading that bot as well, making sure there's no push progress to be had. Prophet just playing the cover here so well, consistently getting those cookies. Vindime isn't in danger. Seoul Dynasty have 4 ultimates if they want to use them. And a Rai Pulse Bomb, yes, doesn't connect onto Dreamer, but does force a dislocation. Now potentially a disengagement from a rally, but no, a counterpunch here from Vindime saying, I'm not going to allow your Winston to get this one for free. Huge amounts of CC going through onto the Winston, but healing is just as potent when it comes to keeping that Winston in. A nano coming through as well. Dreamer pops the Primal Rage. Anger management coming in to the clutch here potentially as Krillin juggled around. It's finally starting to go the way of Dreamers, maybe. You have to deal with a nano brig. Not the ideal. Vindime finally runs out of the nano. The cleave will be enough, and even with Meeson falling, this will be Dreamers being able to get some distance, hopefully.
I think the nano came in late from Krillin, ends up going to Vindime, which is okay, that's fair enough, but Seoul Dynasty, they had to spend, what, that was 3 ultimates at least? Sad and Easyhan bump into each other, both looking for EEP opportunity, but Easyhan not going to give away his positioning, not going to reveal himself. The fact that Sad does reveal himself is going to be slowing things down for the Dreamers dive. Oh, Catch translocated. Oh my god, what a call. That is insane. I mean, it's a lot of luck as well. Eichenwalde just bumps into Sad, but they knew where the translocator was, so Prophet just arrives, and Eichenwalde, they 2v1 him.
Plays the com. That's what we expect from a team like Seoul Dynasty. The prestige, the stick, the kill. Dada's dead. I'm afraid that Father's Day is not going to be a very happy occasion this year, as even Sad is noted. And Dreamers are going to have to give up even more space.
Yeah, this is looking like 100 meters. Looking at the triple digits now as Dreamers are still waiting for respawns, and those respawns are coming back. Seoul Dynasty might respect it. 96, it's okay. Still waiting for the EMPs. The fact that Dynasty got that without EMP as well is insane.
EMP onto supports. Takes out Vindheim, and now Velosaria might well be isolated. Disengagement is good. Straight into the loving arms of Krillin. Might be difficult to actually kill the Winston here, unless Velosaria overplays his hand. A forward leap might well be ill-considered. Still Krillin. Find themselves an anti. Keep Streamer at bay.
Okay, cool. So they both survived. It's really important. Full spawn taken away, but everyone got it anyway. And now Seoul Dynasty, they are the ones sitting on the EMP, still yet to be used. And as the time dwindles down, this gets deadly and deadly as it drops down to data. 5v4 confirmed. Krillin, yep, traded.
What can you do when Prophet's on 14 final blows? He's died twice. Yes, Streamer might well get Vindheim. But the trading has been solid here for Seoul Dynasty.
Oh, payload's gone
as well. The piracy of the payload, they're marauding, they're swashbuckling, these scallywags.
Even if Dreamers win their fight, they would have to re-push the payloads. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. So, good job by Balasria to take that one away. He's played on Fusion, he knows the tricks, he knows what to do in that situation. So with just about 1 minute left to go through, it's not looking good for Dreamers here. Map 5 is likely going to be the result, as the Seoul Dynasty are just so much further ahead on this map compared to where Dreamers are in. Only a double support ultimate to try and carry them through.
Trying to keep it steady in the backline, looking for something else to try and make a clutch happen. But Prophet, when he's playing this Doorman, you ain't getting through without ID, mate. Vindheim just beat Streamer to death. It's brutality here. The high ground stolen away.
You can't afford to lose here, because now you got to get hugely reset with a couple of late deaths in there as well. Top Dragon dying last, and ideally Sad doesn't go down here as well, but Prophet's gonna go for the hunt anyway. You just can't get away. That's how you beat depression.
Goodness. Yep, that is how you do it. Out of 26 kills, Prophet's got 15 of them, baby. This guy is on it today. Top Dragon, noted. Prophet doesn't want to actually engage in that before he's got the backup of the cookies, maybe. Dreamer has to place himself between this cart and further progress. The Possum goes through, but no kill to be found here. Dreamer loses so much of his HP. Vindheim going to be nanoed. Now time to close the distance. Mace to the mace to the mace to the face will come on through as Easyhan just waits for people to use those resources. Rebuff the aggression. We can come in with a second punch, an EMP, but all the nano comes through. That's finally a good save onto Dreamer. Keep your main tank, keep your captain, keep the Dream alive. The Seoul Dynasty still have Velosaria getting real angry, messing up their formation, sending people astray as Sad has built up to an EMP but needs to survive long enough to use it. It's a long thing to ask for an EMP and a long time for an overtime as well, Avril.
Well, they got to win so many fights in a row, because it's not just about this one. Sad will get Velosaria down without using the EMP, and that's important. You got to hold the EMP for as long as possible, because now the long night starts as it's, what, 11 to 105. So during all of that, Dynasty snuck in an extra 10 meters. Here we go. One EMP to finish the entire map. The Dynasty can just play it safe. It doesn't even matter if Dreamers get the cow pair, get to like 90 meters, because at some point Seoul Dynasty will have a massive advantage, and at that point they win the map.
Long night has started, but we have bought ourselves a dragon. Will Targaryen blood be enough as Prophet looking for a pulse bomb? The EMP is huge. It's a massacre of the members. The Dreamers still need to be conscientious of this barricade, and Easyhan will get out scot-free alongside Prophet.
The biggest tool is gone now. Dreamers, they had one huge card to play. Wouldn't that trade in terms of where the cards fall? And now they're out of resources, and guess who's got the next EMP? It's not going to be Sad, it's going to be Easyhan and Seoul Dynasty. As I mentioned earlier, it really doesn't matter how much progress Dreamers gets here, because at some stage Dynasty are going to have more, and that moment is fast approaching. Double support ultimates, EMP on board, nothing to defend the EMP against as well.
Otherwise, White Unicorn has been used, but Exodia of Ultimate's coming up for Seoul Dynasty. Only a few scan percent away for Eichenwalde. It's going to be some aggression to try and take Seoul Dynasty off kilter here. Remember that there always needs to be a member on the cart for Dreamers. They need to keep this contestant. Overtime will go away so fast. Eichenwalde from the back, sees the target, EMP, wants to get rid of Dada, and you bet the Prophet's there to make it happen. Seoul Dynasty will demand that we should go to yet another map as Dreamer. He's going to be sleeping on the job. Belos executed, but they're not on the cart. It's so much sadness. And I'm afraid that Seoul Dynasty, they're going to have to get it done on a 5th map that we were doomsaying after all. Lijiang Tower is where this finishes.
I don't even care that it's a C9 because I don't think Dreamers were going to win anyway. Dreamer was slipped far away from the payload. Top Dragon had to recall. As soon as he recalls, no one is touching the payload because the supports are obviously not going to be there. Dada died. He's the Brig. You're not expecting Anna to be there. So, of course, that's going to happen. And that deep into an OT, the overtime wicket goes instantly. As soon as anyone doesn't touch, it's instantly gone. That is part of the problem, pushing an OT, especially when it takes that long. Even if Dreamers win their fight, Seoul Dynasty have another good 2 fights ahead of them. They still got more Ultimates to play through. It still is going to be exceptionally hard for Dreamers, but where things get much easier is on map 5. Lijiang Tower, the Ryan's going to come back. We'll see if that happens after the break. Seoul Dynasty are going to make this one extremely competitive. They were down 2-1, and now we're up 2-2. Going to map number 5, Lijiang Tower. And we said very early on leg day that this might not end up being a good map for the Seoul Dynasty, but they have the opportunity to prove it wrong as well, because to get this far, they had to really pull through some magic. And well, and magic comes through in the form of Prophet, who ends Esperança with 16 final blows out of Soul's 27. Yes, that means he deadlifted.
And boy, did he deadlift. What a show coming through from Prophet. If there was something you needed to invigorate your team for the mountain you have to climb on Lijiang Tower against some of Dreamer's favorite compositions, featuring the Sim and the Reinhardt, it is that kind of performance. That kind of, we are clearly better in the mind of the Seoul Dynasty. But Lijiang Tower, this is the map where the goofiness is at its strongest, where the quirkiness is at its quirkiest, and the Reinhardt is at its rhiniest.
You know what I think? I think this is where Prophet pulls out the fire. It's time.
You think?
It's time for the Prophet fire. One way you want to beat a Ryan. It depends on how confident you are that Dreamers will definitely run the Ryan. On Control Center, that's a given. But on the other 2 rounds,
I think Night Market is a given.
Night Market is the one that I would expect the Dreamer probably runs the Ryan as well. So this is where the mind games begin. Because if you roll out the Farah and it's not a Ryan comp, you're in trouble. But if it is a Ryan comp, you officially counter-comp them. So it is a gamble. But I think Seoul Dynasty, map 5, they know their brawl is probably not up to par. They might have to consider gambling.
Yeah. Put it all on the table. All in for the series against Dreamers. Do not want to be 2-3'd by a pair of contenders teams in a row. O2 Blast getting one over in a map 5 control against Seoul Dynasty got them their first win of our summer stage. O2 Blast have been languishing a little bit until they managed to take Seoul Dynasty to one of these brawlier control maps. And that's where they fell apart. But here, will they dare meet Dreamers in the Crucible? Dare you
I'll tell you what, though.
To Dreamer?
At least Bellisria is going to come up with the Rhine. So that is, I think, a welcome change. Both teams also expecting it's going to be the mirror. Both teams rolling out of the sim.
Question is, does he hand swap after the TP?
And
It's going to be happening.
In some sense, Dreamers really lucked out on the RNG side to get this round first. Of course, for Seoul Dynasty, they would have loved to just gotten back-to-back Night Market plus Gardens. Gotta go through the Rhine first.
The ideal here for Dreamers. And Dreamer, he do be swinging. He's just in the back line, doesn't care. Immortality Field is already expended. That means that Dreamer's going to be punished. A good boot overplays the hand of the captain. The Unicorns, for now, led extinct by the Tigers.
They didn't care, but maybe they should care a little bit, because now Bellisria gets to play something that I think faces the Rhine a lot more evenly, and that's going to be another Rhine. Dreamers losing the early neutral. What you need from the Seoul Dynasty, if Dynasty can somehow pull through with the round victory on Control Center, the rest of Lijiang Tower suddenly starts to get a lot easier for them. Lighten that load.
Pressure here is coming through. Ryan versus Ryan. Dreamers in the middle. The damage is almost unbearable, and Bellisria trying to make sure that pain comes on through. Krillin's put down the amplification matrix here. Plenty of damage forthcoming. His Top Dragons found himself in a 1 versus 3, but it doesn't matter because his friends are falling all around him. Seoul Dynasty continue to clean up. In this defensive position, that's where you're best.
Krillin's fragging out. He's got heals. He's got damage. He's got 6 final blows. And he was able to get that amplification matrix up really fast as well. Gigantic advantage over Missing, who still doesn't quite have it yet. And that's how Seoul Dynasty will get 2 fights in a row as the rest of the team are seeing 4 ultimates and just straight away into a sound barrier.
Now we're engaged. Big block from Bellisria of a turnaround. You think you're greater than I at Rush? No, sir.
I think the RAM was the problem. I'm going to say it now. The RAM was the issue. We've solved the issue by putting Bellisria on the Rhine instead. Bellisria now largely ahead, large and in charge. Much better shatter coming on through, unblocked, unbothered. TP straight through from Dreamers though, so they're not going to get caught in the Prophet Icefall trap.
But good link. Up comes the wall, even more so. Plenty of Arctic here on the side of the Seoul Dynasty. The Blizzard does freeze Bellisria, but plenty of kill coming on through. Counter charge moving through. Now it's easy, Han, who can do so much damage onto Dreamer. The counter wall means that it's easy to break down the Light Architect. Your buildings mean nothing to me, and neither does your defense. Seoul Dynasty, 89% finally losing control. Now they have to play. into
the
Dream.
extra sound barrier advantage that Data had, Vindime used this a little bit early on to allow Seoul Dynasty to get the spawn camp. And okay, you win a fight with the sound barrier, and Dreamers will do the exact same when it's their time to play through. And a bunch of ultimates committed into that fight. That was probably the deadliest fight so far, certainly the most expensive one for both teams. Dynasty still sit on 89 though, so nearly into one fight territory. Krillin now the only ultimate. He'll pop it and instantly frag.
Dude, Krillin's always the difference maker. This guy's got the aim. Order up on a bit of pain, and that's going to be a big trap coming on through here as well. Dreamer's got no back behind him, and Bellows Rhea looks for slam straight into the shield this time around. Dreamer might be able to turn it around himself, and that's going to be even. No touch. Oh, it's so sad. Somebody call my therapist. I'm going to need to talk through this one.
And this is a problem now for Dreamers, because they were meant to be better into the role, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But could they have expected the Balestria was going to match up on the Rhine? Certainly, if Balestria went towards the Ram, I think it would have been very bad for Seoul Dynasty. Take a look at the situation again. Krillin pops the Ant Matrix. This was actually in the opening fight. Look how much further ahead. He's 26% ahead of Missin at the point that he pops his ultimate. A quarter of an entire ult ahead of Missin. And then he frags.
Proving why, you know what? It's a good job that Soul kept me and put me back on my main role of a flex support.
Rhine on Gardens. Dreamers are going to pull it. They're going to do it. They're going to try.
It's all the way down. Not actually going to be TPing into a point, though.
I think you go back and just play fire here. I think you punish Dreamers.
Genji.
Okay, well, if you want to play fire, Vindime has a swap as well. But if you want to just try and beat the Rhine as a dive comp, Genji's actually better than Tracer in that. So I get it.
Still has to deal with double beams. Minimal value potentially out of a deflect, but hey, if you want to just try and take a long-range poke duel against Top Dragon, you're more than welcome to it. Forcing out the ice block.
Deflect does deflect the hammer though. Like that.
It does. Doesn't reflect it, but does deflect it.
That's true.
It's going to be a big old brawl here. Just about getting out in time is Bellows. Rhea is going to be stacked back up to try and play this again, forcing out the ice block. This is actually going to be the first cap here for Seoul Dynasty.
They can kill Top Dragon here.
Response.
I'm surprised they're not chasing him down. Okay, there. Oh, that is a late death.
That is a real late death.
Ooh, that sucks. Dragon, dude, he should. There's no way he believed he was going to get out. He should have just jumped off the map. He actually self-staggered there. Maybe he thought it was like, wait, Dynasty aren't chasing me. Can I get out? No, absolutely not. Sad now going over towards the cast. So the Dreamers comp changes. You could tell that Sad's rolled out on what? Sim? He started Sim. Was he expecting a mirror? That's quite a weird hero to start on.
Weird beginning. Krillin, a nano. Yes, it needs to be used to save Bellows Rhea. There was never any doubt. Cleaving through the back line is easy as they come. So many squishies, no means of defense. And Bellows Rhea says, "You dare imply they need to sub in Void? Have you seen me?"
I think I understand the sim now. I think they were trying to go for a very fast DP to block the bridge, which they actually did effectively do in the first fight. Still lost it, sadly. And now Dynasty, if there is a world for them to finish this map flawlessly, I got the telescope out. I'm seeing it. EMP to carry through. Will barely dodge a Cherio. Easy Hunt is safe. He has not been revealed, and he sees everybody. Full scouting report.
EMP Blade, the rare one. Rare shatter hitting nothing there from Dreamer. Very unfortunate for Blizzard as well. Doesn't really grab anything. Disabled, in fact, by the EMP. A brand new interaction coming through from Blizzard dev team. Oh, this is looking real rough for Dreamers. Seoul Dynasty.
We're trying to. Last fight.
Stagger.
And there's still a Blade, still a beat. To be fair, Dada's got one as well, so the Blade's probably not going to do too much unless Prophet can just drop onto a player and instantly destroy them. But I suspect the double sound barriers here is going to cause a bit of an issue, and now Dream is slowly going to fade away from this brawl composition. And once more, Easy Hunt is unspotted, which means he gets the full scouting report, and they get the hack on the Dada. Hey, Ajax! Unbelievable! Seoul Dynasty have just cloven through these hooves. The horn means nothing, the cutesiness means nothing, the dream means nothing, but the dynasty means everything. And here is the beginning, potentially, of one, as Seoul Dynasty reclaim themselves a little bit of competence on these control maps. What a perfect finish. What an insanely perfect finish. Easy Hunt had all the info. They knew the sound barrier was coming online. He says, I'm going to hack data. You're going to blade in. There's not going to be a beat. and we're just gonna win. That's it. You're just gonna win. And Seoul Dynasty, to get this one, they had to battle through hell to get there because they were down. They lost badly in Route 66. Prophet played out of his mind to drag them across the line on Esperança. That's maybe not being as accurate as I could be saying, because really I think Seoul Dynasty generally just played better than Dreamers on Esperança, Prophet or not. But what really impressed me was the Rhine heads-up battle, Ballastria versus Dreamer on Control Center, which should have been bad for Seoul Dynasty, but they ended up beating them in the Brawl matchup, and all that needed to happen was for Ballastria to swap from Ram to the Rhine, and it was enough. And something that was more than enough today, leg day, it was Prophet. This guy deadlifted on at least one map. In fact, I can even go back and check he deadlifted on more than one, but I can confirm it was definitely one map. He nearly deadlifted on Eichenwalde roll, 16 out of 44 away from it. Point being, he played out of his mind.
Yeah, Seoul Dynasty got to iterate on that map 5, but we got to the map 5 because of this guy right here. And what else are you going to be looking for from a player? Prophet, there's a reason why this guy is called the GOAT, and when he gets to go on his signature hero of a Tracer, there is no doubt that he's going to absolutely tear up the lobby. I believe this is now Prophet's 3rd player of the match in our summer stage as well, which means he's now tied with Zest for most players of the match. And Zest was also on 3, so Prophet and Zest now a little bit of a friendly competition to see who's going to walk away with that Player of the Split award.
And now for the highlights, and boy, will there be many of them. Get ready. This is going to be a long highlights roll reel because man, he got every kill. He got all of them. We're not even up to Esperança. I like that we started on Eichenwalde. Let's just forget about the first map, okay? What even was it again? Oasis? No, Antarctic Peninsula. It didn't happen. We didn't play that map. Don't worry about it.
I don't see it. I don't regard it. It's not real. Is the Antarctic Peninsula in the room with us now, April?
It's not real.
My therapist says it, therefore it's true. Here's a quick look at the big highlight, which is Esperança. This was a huge turnaround for this team as well. You count on someone with the veterancy of Prophet to get absolutely dumpstered, absolutely pooed on Route 66, and then come back with this manner of confidence and mojo.
16-2 was the scoreline here. 16 final blows, 2 deaths. Granted, I have to say that Eichenwalde did finish the map deathless, which is very important as well. Lijiang Tower helped out a lot. Decent EMPs, 2.4 efficiency that allowed Prophet also get in there for the final death, so final blows rather. And yeah, what a final kill there onto Sad as well that really put Dreamers down. Speaking of putting them down, the Genji swap for Lijiang Tower. Worked the treat, and now let's get to see it again. Boom. Data, no chance to ult. Straight into Prophet's blade. Cut up.
And let's talk about like the Prophet Eichenwalde comps as well, because we talked about this on Esperança as well, like that catch on Stagger onto Sad with the translocator as well. This feels very good. We do have ourselves a quick interview, so you can hear directly from the Seoul Dynasty. Let's hear from Unknown.
안녕하세요, 벨로스레아 선수 승리 축하드립니다.
Hey, Bellosfrea. Congrats on the win.
오늘로 벌써 연속 3경기 풀세트인데요. 이 풀세트 다이너스티라고 불려도 될 것 같은데.
So
승리
3
소감
map 5s in a
궁금합니다.
row. So it's map 5 dynasty. How do you feel?
그래도 뭐 좀 치열한 접전 끝에 승리한 건 저희니까 다행이긴 하네요.
I mean, well, we do win in the end, so I
겸손한
guess that's a
말씀까지
good sign.
해주셨는데 위기의 순간에 더욱더 강해지는 서울 다이너스티가 아닌가라는 생각이 들었는데 혹시 멘탈이 조금 흔들렸던
It
순간이
looks like
있었을까요?
Dynasty
오늘
shines
경기?
in the most difficult situations. Are there moments where it was a bit too close for comfort? How do you overcome those situations?
못했는데 가면 갈수록 그래도 적응돼가지고 잘 된 것 같아요. 멘탈 흔들린 건 1세트밖에
So I guess we did have a kind of a little small mental boom over there
네.
after map 1, but
옆에
as
준영이 형이
the game went on, we kind of like had more conversations with each other. We kind of grouped up as a team. We won together. We came back as a team.
초반에 윈솜트를 많이 기용을 하셨는데 뭔가 EMP를 쓰는 걸 신중하게 하는 것 같다라는 느낌을 받았습니다.
So we saw a lot of Winston plus double flankers on your side, and we recognized that you were using your EMPs more patiently. Is this a team strat?
EMP가 좋은 궁이니까 좋은 타이밍에 써야 하고 뭐 다 같이 호응이 되면 좋으니까 가끔
So yeah, the EMPs are really important. Unfortunately, it doesn't make any eliminations on its own, so we were really patient to time that EMP and make sure the team can follow up.
라인을 꺼내 드셨습니다. 그때 본인의 의지였나요?
원래 팀적으로
On Control
그
Center,
맵에서
you
하기로 했었어.
put up the Rhine. Was that something that was predetermined, or was it just the one?
화장실에 갔다 왔는데 뭔가 드리머즈도 러시 조합을 잘하니까 라인 미러전이 나오지 않을까. 라인전만 이기자, 라인전만 이기자.
So,
라인전만 이기자.
before coming into map 5, I went to the bathroom. I did not know what was happening. And then after I came back, the team was like, hey, they're probably going to go with the rush comp. Maybe we should go Rhine Rush Mirror? And that's how it came to be.
카메라에 환하게 웃고 있는 모습이 포착이 되셨습니다. 그때 기분 어떠셨어요?
So, I mean, after that, there were smiles all across the board. Of course you were happy, but like, how did you feel like specifically?
둘 다 같은 각 봐서 역시 이러면서 약간 웃고 있었던 것 같은데 잘 들어간 것도 있고.
So we were basically like, hey, it's good to feel. It's a good feeling when everything comes together, and we feel that the whole team is on the same page. So it definitely felt good.
심지어 윈스턴까지 나왔습니다. 상대 라인임에도 불구하고 그때 혹시 자신감의 픽이었나요?
그래도 저희는 항상 자신감이 맥스이기 때문에 뭐 하고 싶은 거 있으면.
So you also played the Winston as well. Is that something like a very comfort pick for you coming into a Dreamers team that you mostly plays the Rhine Rush? Of course, I mean everything that we play, that's really we're really confident of playing, and also we put a lot of practice in that. So.
혹시 그 조합 겐지, 윈스턴 그런 조합을 이렇게 사전에 연습은 좀 많이 하셨을까요?
In the latter stages of the match, we saw like Winston paired up with the Genji as well. Is that something that was also prepared? I mean, I can't really say that we've been like practicing it a lot, but a lot of the compositions when we practice in scrims, we try this and that. So it was definitely a part of that.
오늘 경기 굉장히 전체적으로 만족하실 것 같습니다. 앞으로의 경기는 어떻게 대비하실 예정인가요?
So I think this was a performance that you should be happy with. How are you planning to prepare your next matches? Of course, we definitely want to prepare our matches on the mindset that we're going to win every match.
이루어지고 있는데 서울 팬분들도 굉장히 오셨어요. 그 팬분들께 마지막으로 한마디 해주시죠.
So last messages to your fans.
이 날씨에도 불구하고 유행 파티까지 가서 직관이라 그러다 경기 봐주신 분들 정말 감사합니다.
So the weather is really hot in Korea right now, and I really want to thank the fans that came to the viewing party in WGG Esports Studio today. I appreciate that, and thank you. And that is the end of the interview. Back to you, Kevin.
Well, there it is. Seoul Dynasty finally winning on those map 5s. Man, I didn't even realize they had 3 map 5s in a row like they.
It's real tough to try and make that happen. All the fellows Ray just got back from the bathroom. Was like, get in, buddy. We're going Rhine. What a turnaround from a Seoul Dynasty. But our matches keep on turning. Go back after a break for more APAC action. Bye.